Hello everyone, Tom 10 here. If you are into design, I'm sure that in some situations you faced cases where tags turn their back to you. And what I mean by that is that you're placing your text on top of some footage and eventually it becomes hardly readable because of similar tones and colors which just matched and doesn't give that contrast you would want to have. So I've been striving to find at least reasonable solution for that, and as soon as I figured it out, I started using it in every project. Even though I don't ever going to use it, I'm still implementing the same technique. You never know when you decide to use that, and as soon as you decide to do that, you will have it on hand. So I will showcase you that in a moment. So that's it. Let's jump ahead. Before we start this, yeah, I know this dataset starting to get boring, but just ignore it for this time being because it's not about the design, but what specific technique could give you in the long term. What we are going to achieve here is to swap colors, basically invert them in order to make sure that everything looks well. And I will also explain why it might be useful. We have the same project, etc., etc., and we have composition, which stands for controllers. And the controllers here are meant to be changed globally in the whole project. So yeah, I'm having this in different windows, so I'm just turning it here. So you can see we have 4 colors: Theme Dark, Theme Light, Main Dark, and Main Light. What it stands for is it allows to control the colors globally in the whole design. And yeah, there are essential graphics and other similar things in the nowadays workflows. But the reason why I'm making this through controllers of colors is because that way you can just easily control those with a script. It just helps a lot. For start being, let's see how it goes. You can see that main dark here is white, even though actually dark should reflect the dark color, right? So why the heck this is white, Thomas? Well, it's simple. The whole idea is made in a way that whenever we want to swap the colors, we just change these to what they mean to be, and that's pretty much it. So what simply has been done here is that we have 2 controllers which controls light and dark color of main elements, and they, during the creation of those designs, they were all linked to those controllers through expressions. And that way I have a global control to change the colors if I want to. So I'm just undoing what I've done previously, and you can see that the swap does its thing. So of course in this case it's not very useful because we have just a plain background and nothing else. But if we add some clip in the background of this design and we want to make sure that the titles visible, that's kind of one way of doing that. Of course you could also add color boxes, but in such case you still need to make sure that the colors are adaptive. And the reason why this is good is because it doesn't have to be black. It can be basically any color you want, as long as those 2 colors which are being changed in between, either dark or light, has contrast between them. As soon as you do that, you can achieve anything. Yeah, that wasn't a very good choice. But you can see that if you do design creation process properly, then you can easily swap that colors and make adjustments whatever you want to. So we have those 2 colors which controls the generic look of the whole design, and I just call it generic because it can be anything. And then we could have another controllers which actually adjust the style of that execution, and for this particular case Theme Light controls that slash and that line in between the titles. And as long as you have that structure in mind when creating design and just link those colors to the controllers and do that thing, you can easily maintain the branding throughout any execution, and all of that can be done simply by changing video settings file. So if I change this, we can just close this project, and in fact I can just pick light of let's say pure red. I will close the project and change the light for theme to this one. So in theory, when the build executes, it should change that color. And by the way, do you know what would allow not to readjust those windows when one composition viewer is closed? Because it really annoys me and I haven't found a solution for that. So here we can see that the color of params, controllers, here the light was changed to pure red, and originally it was not that pure. And why it was red? Well, maybe because TomTom colors are red. But this is TomTom color. Oh no, I just revealed my secret. Yeah, so that's how the color changes works in bar chart trace animation, but just feel free to readjust this and use in any case you want to, because it's very powerful. And as long as you think about this and creating the process, you just can do magic with that. And of course, if you are into scripting, you just define additional controller object, and then you can just link that by executing a script. So the reason why this works is because when script is executed, we are finding that composition, we are finding that layer, and we are changing the colors of those fields to what matches in video settings file. So hopefully this is somewhat useful. At least for me it was a game changer, and as I mentioned, whenever I create any project, I just make sure that these controllers are available, and that way I can just easily make variations. Especially this is important when you are creating social media ads for a client and they want, for example, different color variations. And once you have that, you can just invert brand colors in a moment. And that's useful for A/B testing and similar things. So keep that in mind. Yeah, so hopefully you find this useful. In case if you do, don't forget to subscribe and like this video to find out more techniques about that. That's it. Thanks for your time, and I hope to see you around.